Hello, my name is Ash, a counselor in training. This is my Relatable study podcast for individuals who need help studying for their NCE, CPCE, and other related counseling exams. I'm going to go through many questions from multiple resources and make the answers relatable to both you and me. So get your listening ears on and let's get studying. Acculturation takes place when A. Two cultures mix, B. A culture dies out, C. When an individual seeks to deny their culture, D. Both B and C. The answer is A. Acculturation takes place when two cultures mix. For example, Italian Americans. When first arriving to America, Italians brought their culture over. And then as generations of Italians lived in America, they were able to mix their two cultures into the Italian American culture. The three factors which enhance interpersonal attraction are A. Assertiveness, anxiety, ego strength. B. Close proximity, physical attraction, and similar beliefs. C. Culture, race, assertiveness. D. Ego strength, anxiety, and race. The answer is B. The three factors that enhance interpersonal attraction are close proximity, physical attraction, and similar beliefs. Since the counselor and the client are in close proximity to each other, they may have similar beliefs, and one or the other may be physically attracted to each other, and those enhance interpersonal attractions. Remember to review the ethic codes regarding relationships with clients. A high standard of counseling practice when working with diverse populations involves all of the following except A. Treating all the clients the same way, B. Acknowledging and confronting their own biases and prejudice, C. Adapting one's knowledge and skills to meet the client's needs, D. Educating oneself completely as possible regarding the client's cultural context. The answer is A. Treating all clients the same way is not a high standard of counseling practice when working with diverse populations because the same treatment will not effectively work with all clients. So we must adapt to our knowledge and skills to meet the client's needs, acknowledge and confront our own biases and prejudice, and are able to educate ourselves as completely as possible regarding the client's cultural context in order to effectively meet the high standard of counseling practices when working with diverse populations. For example, would you be able to work with a Brazilian client the same way you treat an African American client? The answer would be no, because we would have to do research into African American cultures and Brazilian cultures to make sure that we are able to meet their cultural contexts and improve our knowledge and skills to where the client's needs are getting met. And if we have any biases and prejudice, we have to acknowledge those and work through those biases and prejudice before they enter the counseling space. The term conceptualism implies that A. Multicultural counseling is the oldest subspecialty in the profession. B. Behavior must assess in the context of the culture in which the behavior occurs. C. The notion of worldview is highly inaccurate. D. Projective tests are more accurate than objective measures when performing cross-cultural counseling. The answer is B. The term conceptualism implies that behavior must be asserted in the context of culture in which the behavior occurs. For example, laughing at a joke at a party is fine, but laughing during a funeral is shocking. The question we have to ask ourselves is, what is going on around the individual when they behave this way? As counselors, we must understand why people behave the way they do do and see the behaviors they do as meaningful and purposeful, even if it seems odd. Then we are able to help them choose strategies that help them live better lives based on their behaviors that are working either for or against them. We could utilize CBT in this situation, for example. Raphael's family just moved into a new neighborhood where he is now culturally in the minority. In his old neighborhood, Raphael's culture was the predominant one. Now Raphael is feeling uncertain about his sense of self. He feels some conflict between deprecation and appreciation of his self. According to the racial cultural identity development model, Raphael is experiencing A. Conformity, B. Dissonance, C. Resistance and immersion, D. Introspection. The answer is D. Raphael is experiencing dissonance. There is mental discomfort because Raphael is holding two differing and conflicting beliefs about his culture because he moved from a place where his culture was the predominant one, and then he moved to a new neighborhood where his culture is now in the minority, and he is having conflicting beliefs, thoughts, and experiences that cause this dissonance. That is all 5 questions. Thank you for listening. Keep calm and study on.